So, what in the world does a free English lesson have to do with a banned piece of software? I know, on the surface, it seems like nothing, but their connection actually reveals the hidden rules and maybe the inevitable conflicts at the very heart of the free internet. Let's dig in. It's a pretty weird pairing, right? One is a piece of educational content, helping someone learn a new skill. The other is an app that got completely shut down. The link between them isn't obvious at all, but I promise you, it points to this fundamental tension, this push and pull at the core of how the modern internet actually works. To really get that tension, we have to start with the promise. Because platforms like YouTube offer something that's just unprecedented in human history. We're talking instant access to a global library of information, education, entertainment, you name it. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. This is a real video title. For millions, actually billions of people around the globe, this is what YouTube is. It's a practical, super powerful tool for self-improvement. It's how you learn to code, or fix a leaky faucet, or in this case, master a whole new language, completely for free. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures how deeply these platforms are woven into our daily lives. It's not just some website we check out once in a while. For so many of us, it's an essential tool that answers our questions and solves our problems every single day. But all this incredible free access, well, it comes at a price. Okay, so let's talk about that price. Because let's be real, running a platform that streams billions of hours of video is not cheap. To keep the lights on and all that content flowing, there has to be a business model. And that model is built on a really fundamental trade-off. It really all boils down to this choice. On one hand, you have the standard experience. It's free to use, but you get ads, and there are some limitations, like not being able to listen to a video with your screen off. Then you have the premium experience. That gets rid of the ads and unlocks features like background play, but you have to pay a monthly subscription. This is how the platform makes money off our attention. But what happens when users want the perks without the price tag? And this is where our story takes a really interesting turn. When a bunch of users feel like the restrictions of the free model are just too much of a pain, they start looking for workarounds, They search for ways to customize their own experience, to get the features they want, and that leads them to something called third-party apps. So what exactly is a third-party app? Well, put simply, it's an app made by an independent developer, not by Google or Apple. It's designed to work with an existing platform, but usually to add features or change how it operates. And in this case, one particular app became kind of famous. Vanced. For years, this was the absolute go-to for a huge community of users. It was an application that promised to deliver a totally different kind of YouTube experience, one that directly took on the limitations of the standard free version. The reason this thing blew up is honestly pretty simple. Vanced offered the key features of YouTube Premium. No ads, background playback, but for free. It essentially broke the platform's business model by giving people the best of both worlds, which, as you can imagine, made it a direct threat. And what this creates is a classic digital cat and mouse game. You've got users and developers on one side, creating tools to change their experience, and you've got the platform owner on the other, trying to protect its system and its business model. And as we're about to see, this conflict almost always follows a very predictable cycle. This timeline pretty much shows you the typical rise and fall. First, an app like Vanced shows up, offering features people really want. Then it gets popular, and a lot of people start using it. Eventually, it gets big enough to show up on the platform's radar, and that's when the legal notices, the cease and desists come out. And well, with the platform's immense resources, the third-party app is inevitably forced to shut down. The cat always catches the mouse. And this brings us right back to our original question. That connection between a free English lesson and a banned app? It all comes down to one word: control. The platform provides all this amazing content, but in exchange, it sets the rules for how you get to experience it. The conflict kicks off when users decide they want to set their own rules. And so we're left with this massive, fundamental question. We get so much incredible value from these free platforms, but that access has strings attached. When what the user wants clashes with the platform's business model, the platform almost always wins. It just makes you wonder, in this digital world that feels so open and so free, who's really calling the shots?